Welcome to Lesson 5, Part 1. So if we look at our table of contents, Lesson 5, Comparing Whole Numbers, it's going to be on pages 13 and 14. So let's turn over to pages 13 and 14. Okay, so comparing whole numbers, our content objective, 4th grade, NBT.A.2. I can compare two large numbers when using symbols to show the comparison. Language objective, I can use place value to compare large numbers. Social objective, I can work with others to create models to prove the comparison of two numbers. So here we have 5 vocabulary words. First, compare. Deciding which is greater or if they are the same value. So if we compare 3 and 2, well, 1, 2, 3 is more than 2. It is the greater value. So we put the larger part of our inequality sign toward the larger number, the smaller part toward the smaller number. Inequality. Well, equality means equal, the same. Inequality means not the same. It's a mathematical sentences that do not have the same value and are not equal. 5 is not equal to 7. These are not equal. 5 is less than 7. Here's another way. 10 times 2, that's 20. 20 take away 2 is 18, so 20 is greater than 18. They are not equal or equivalent. And these are our symbols that we use with comparisons. Less than. One group is smaller than the other group. One number is smaller in value than the other number. And it goes with the smaller. If it's an arrow, it's pointing toward the left. 2 is less than 12. That's how we read that sentence. 2 is less than 12. Greater than. One group is more than the other group. One number has more value than the other group. So now the arrow part is pointing toward the right. So here it's pointing toward the right. 4 is greater than 2. So that's what this says here. We have 4 is greater than 2. Less than is pointing to the left, greater than is pointing to the right. If you remember, probably in 2nd grade they talked about the alligator eating the larger number, so you can remember that too. Equal to. A set of numbers or objects that have been divided into arrangements that have the same value. So we have 2 over here, we have 2 over here. That's exactly the same. It's balanced. It's another way of looking at an equal sign. It's balanced. Each side's exactly the same. Where here, if we were looking at the balance, you'd have this one way high and this one low. With this one, it would be the opposite. Here, they're exactly the same, so the balance would be even. Alright, so now we're going to be looking at comparing large numbers. So a lot of times you've probably experienced comparison with smaller numbers, but with larger numbers there's so many digits that you may get confused what to do. Here we have a hint in our notes. When comparing two digits, the open part of the greater than, less than symbol is open toward the largest digit. An alligator, it eats the largest prey. So that just reminds you which way to put your inequality symbol. One way to compare your numbers is to line up your place values. So I'm going to put my first number on top. 2, 3, 8, 9, 6, 5. I'll put my comma in there. So I have the first number on top. Now we need to line up the place values. So I don't want to start again over here. Same with my adding and subtracting. If I need to line up place values, I need to start with my ones place. So I start with my ones place. I'm going to put 6, 5, 9, 8, 3, 2. That way, if I have a space here, I could put my placeholder and I can look at the values a little bit better. Now that I've lined up my ones place, my tens place, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, now that I've lined them up, I can start comparing. But I'm going to compare from the largest side. Because if I were to compare, say, 22 and 12, well, the ones place is the same. But 22 is 10 more than 12. And so looking at the largest place, I already know which one would be larger. So if I look here, I see which is greater, 2 or 2. Well, they're equal. If they're equal, they're actually not going to help us with our comparison. So I'm going to cross them out. Then we go to the next place. We have 3 and 3. Well, which one is greater? They're equal again, so they're not going to help us. Next, we have 8 and 8. Well, they're again equal. We have 9 and 9. So we just keep going toward the right until we find ones that are different. And if none are different, then we know it's equal. But here we have our little stop sign. We need to stop because this is where they are different. Also in the ones place, but the tens place is going to affect it more than the ones place. So if I look at the tens place, which one's greater? The 6 or the 5? Well, 60 is greater than 50. So that means this top number, 238,965, is greater than 238,956. So I will put the greater than symbol. So we have a few more comparisons here. First, if I want to line them up, I'm going to take, I have this one here already. I'm going to go ahead and write this one underneath to help me out. And I want to make sure I'm lining up my places. So I'm going to put my ones place, my tens place, my hundreds place, my thousands place, my 10,000s place, and my 100,000s place. Now I'm going to start from my largest place. 3 and 3, those are equal, so that doesn't help. 8 and 8, those are equal, that doesn't help. 4 and 4, those are equal. Here we have a difference. Which is greater? No hundreds or 300? Well, 300 is greater, so that means 384,037 is less than 384,307. So if you were wanting money, you'd want this because it's $270 more. So the greater number is what we're looking for on that one. So this one's less than. This is greater than, less than. Okay, on this one, we're going to line up starting from the ones place. Okay, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Oh, this time we have a blank here. I'm going to go ahead and put a placeholder so that I have something lined up with each of them. Now starting from the largest place, oh, they are different. Which one's greater? 200,000 or no 100,000s? Well, 200,000. So 212,000 is greater than 21,200. Now this could fool people because these first three numbers are the same. But because this one has an extra placeholder, everything here is 10 times more than this one. That's why it's very important to make sure you're lining up from the ones place. Okay, here's our next one. So we're going to line up 9, 9, 9. Okay, then our 1,000 is also a 9. And then 10,000. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 9s here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in this 100,000s, there's a blank, so I'm going to put my placeholder. Now my comparison starts from this 100,000s, and they're different. 100,000 is greater than no 100,000s. So 100,000 is greater than 999,999. 99,999. I think I said that wrong before. Sorry. It's only greater by 1, but it is greater. Okay, our last one here. I'm going to line up. So we have ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, 10,000s place, 100,000s place. Well, here we have an opening, so I'm going to put a placeholder. If one of them has 6 digits, the other one should also have 6 digits. So now we start from the largest place, which is 100,000s place, and they are different. Which is greater? No 100,000s or 500,000? Well, 500,000 is greater. So 57,093 is less than 570,093. Again, similar to this one, we have similar numbers here, but this has an extra 0 placeholder in it. So this 57 gets moved over 10 times to 570. So it's important to make sure you're lining up from your ones place to be able to compare. It's also where we need to line up when we're adding and subtracting. All right, now it's time for our 3-column notes.